it's Alicia. Welcome to the channel. So one of the first things that I wanted to do was to share a testimony with you. As some of you may know from my other channel, Alicia's Reviews, I recently got married last year, but I was married previously, and it was many, many years ago. That relationship was not really healthy. It was not a healthy relationship at all, and it was a very big struggle and time in my life. When I had met my ex-husband, basically he lived in a different state, so I moved to a different state. Now then I was much, much younger, so much more ambitious and, wanting to try new things and all of that. And so I had moved to a new state. The marriage obviously didn't last. It, as I said, was very unhealthy. And at the time, even though we were going to church, and actually I was baptized there as well, as we separated and got divorced, the church decided to abandon me. Now, this is nothing bad about churches. I've had wonderful churches. It's just, this was a bad situation, and it's really hard, I think, for people who don't want to take a side per se. So there's definitely like nothing bad about the church or anything like that. So anyway, because I lived in this other state, I had no family, and any friends or relationship that I had was basically with his family. So I literally had no family and no friends. This was very difficult for me because I had always been surrounded by family. I'd always been surrounded with friends. And so I had that like support system. And what I found was when I was there on my own, I had no support system at all. And that was something that was very foreign to me. And at the time, what I had was I had my two dogs. And for those of you who have been on my other channel, you'll know that, they passed several years ago, but they were everything that I had. And at the time, that's kind of what kept me going. I had work. And then, had the dogs to take care of. And so that kept me busy. Eventually, God led me to a church. And so I went to that church. I went to divorce care through that church. So that was a really good program. I highly recommend it for anybody who is interested in it or, has it at their church or another church nearby. It definitely really helps you when you're in a class with other people who are getting or are divorced. And so it really helps you with that healing process. But anyway, so I left that church because there were some things going on there that I didn't necessarily like, I'll say. And so God led me to a different church. And through that church, I met a wonderful pastor and his wife. There was wonderful people there. I met a lot of friends there. I still have friends today that live out there, that I talk to. And I really, really felt very comfortable there. So prior to that, I was there for about a year and a half, trying to get home to where I am now with my family. And so God just would not let me come home. I was so upset because of the situation that happened. And then on top of that, I was alone. I felt very alone. As time went on, I started to get that friendship, that great church, kind of that Christian, sisterhood and brotherhood and all of that. And so I started to feel really comfortable, even though I had been trying for so long to get home. So at that point, after about a year and a half, I was like, okay, I can do this, right? I can do this. I'm on my own, but I feel comfortable now. I know that I have God, and that's all I need, right? I have God and I had my dogs, and that was all I needed, right? And so I had a job, right? I had a place to go, had a place to stay, kept myself busy, had some friends to do things with. I was really, really enjoying my life there, honestly. Not that I wasn't missing home, but I really was enjoying, and I thought I could stay here, I could be here. And it was at that time that God decided to bring me back home. So I really think that when I look back on it, number one, if I hadn't have gone through that, I wouldn't be as close to God as I am today. I don't even know if I would have stayed in the faith, to be honest. He was all that I had to lean on. I had no one else. No one. Of course, I had my family, but from a distance. But I had no one near me at the time before I went to my new church and everything and met people. So I really, really had to rely on God and the people that He sent into my life. So that was the first thing. The second thing, I think, was that God wanted me to know that it's okay and that I can be on my own and I can do fine. So I think that was one of the lessons that I needed to learn, was being okay and being alone are fine. I was a person who didn't really like to be alone. I always liked to have people around me. And so that was really a really big lesson for me. And now I know I can be alone somewhere and be fine and be okay with it. I'm okay in my own skin. I'm okay just with myself and enjoying things that I like to do. So finally, God brought me home, and I was single for over 11 years, I think. And in that time, I took time to process and heal. And that was another piece of God's grace, because typically, I would want to go look for somebody right away. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to take time. I'm going to heal. I focused on my family, which was a really great thing, because at the time, my grandmother, I was able to spend several years with her before she passed, and she was very, very important to me. So I wouldn't give those years up. I came back and had all those years with her, which was really, really important to me. And I still treasure those today. And I think, that's one of the reasons He brought me back. So, I lived by myself. I was completely fine. I didn't really look for anyone until 4 years ago when I met my current husband. But I spent a lot of time healing, growing closer to the Lord. I had found a new church, actually, before we moved. We moved last year, and it was wonderful. I just loved it. I found a new church here. It's different, right? So used to something that I was, doing before, and now it's something new again. And so I've got to kind of learn again as I go. But God gives us so much grace. And when we're weak, He's strong and we can lean on Him. And that's what I did. I leaned on Him. He brought people into my life that I really needed at the time. So I think, He was there for me. And one of the things that the pastor at my newer church had said to me was I felt like I had this hole in my heart where my ex was living, right? So when they say you get married, you cleave to one another, you leave your mother and father, you become one. And I really felt like I had this hole. And what she had said to me was that you have to allow God to come in and to fill that void. And so that's what I prayed. And I prayed that He would come in and He would fill that void. And He did. He absolutely did. And so I don't know where I would be today without having experienced all of those things and learned all of those things that He wanted me to learn. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know if that inspires anyone or encourages anyone or helps or not, but and I'm happy to talk in the comments about anything that you want to talk about. But I just wanted to share my story because God is with you. He's with you all the time. He's always giving you grace. He's planning things for you. He's prospering you. He's providing your needs. But he's always there. So I just wanted to share my story. I hope it encourages someone. Thank you for listening, and please like and subscribe since this is my new channel, and I would really appreciate it.